Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to this video. Alright, so let's talk about this issue that comes up quite a bit with Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram vehicles. We all know they're like not the most reliable of cars and trucks to get, but they're popular. Chrysler is still around. Dodge obviously is still around with all their trucks. Jeep, I don't know why people buy them, but I've worked on them. I've come across so many issues where people have come to me with these U-code issues. They'll get like 14, 12, 11 U-code issues. The vehicle is in limp mode. You got all your lights on your dash. You get these situations with these vehicles where it starts up, but the very moment you put your foot on the accelerator, it goes into limp mode. You got weird clicking sounds coming from the shifter stick, and you guys know what I'm talking about. That stuff where you think, well, let's just say if you guys looked into enough, there's a lot of different fixes, a lot of different questions on different fixes, and I'm sure you're watching this video because you're scratching your head right now trying all of them. And we're gonna go through this, and hopefully this can fix your problem. If you guys have a problem with this, it's very, very common with these vehicles. And if you guys know of a fix where your vehicle got fixed, where you fix this issue, and there's a method that I haven't talked about, like, leave a comment in the comment section. Help other people out with this, because that's why we're here. I'm not a fan of Chrysler vehicles, but there's a ton of them that get sold, even though they're not in the heydays anymore. But we're going to see if we can actually go through little by little as far as, little fixes that people have as far as, getting this issue resolved. So if you guys have this issue, we're going to go through different things you guys can look for, all right, as far as diagnosing and seeing if any of these things have caused your issue, your problem. Okay, first thing, if you guys run into this problem, is you guys want to make sure that your ground wires are good and they're not rusted and that they're connected. And for whatever reason, I will tell you that ground wires should not, particularly your main ground wires, should not have any kind of problems. I have seen ground wires getting chewed through in an area where there's like a rodent infestation, and this guy had his vehicle, but there was a no start situation. But bad ground wires, weak ground wires could conceivably cause this situation. Now, let's just talk about the next thing up, as far as one of the main things that people talk about when this comes up is the TIPM. A lot of people say you gotta change the TIPM, you gotta reset the TIPM by discharging all the battery power in the car to zero, taking it apart, putting it back on the next day. All that stuff, you guys can try it. It doesn't work for the most part. Sometimes it works if that's your situation, because I know that Chrysler vehicles do have a lot of issues with the with that tipping, and that tipping causes a lot of different codes to come up. No start issues, no crank issues, weird transmission issues, all that stuff. All right, and if you guys are watching this video, I'm fairly sure that you guys have actually come across all these videos on tipping, changing out the tipping, draining all the power from your vehicle, disconnecting the tipping and then reconnecting it for, good luck with that. Hope that actually fixed your vehicle, but that's probably not the case in a lot of these situations. If it does fix your problem, then awesome. Obviously, you probably want to just check on the fuses. If you guys before you guys do that, you're gonna make sure all your fuses are good, because a bad ECM PCM fuse could cause situations like this, or a bad fuse in any of the networks. Your car's ECM PCM could cause a problem like this. Now, let's move on to other things as far as what people have found out that could fix a situation like this. The throttle position sensor, the throttle body. Don't ask me why the throttle body, the throttle position sensor would cause a situation like this, but it's worth a look into if you guys have this situation, this problem. Man, I'm actually using that word situation way too much, right? I've noticed that in a lot of my videos, but in any case, yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, if you have a new vehicle and this situation, this problem comes up, yeah, I did it again. If that problem comes up and you have a newer Chrysler vehicle with lower mileage, I will tell you that it probably would not be your throttle body or your throttle position sensor. Normally, that problem comes up if you have a vehicle with higher mileage, an older vehicle where maybe you might need to clean your throttle body, possibly change out your throttle position sensor. A lot of these Chrysler vehicles have both of those two things connected. It could be a lot. It could be costly, and you might have to get it from the dealership because they might have to be programmed and stuff like that. But like I said, this is not one of those problems that can be easily fixed. That's why I'm going through all these scenarios for you guys, because a lot of people have gone through all these scenarios and still still can't get their car fixed because it's a crappy Chrysler product. And if you guys are into Chryslers, leave a comment in the comment section. Let us know why you guys bought the car, except for the fact that it might be inexpensive. If you guys bought it used, it's okay. I'm gonna assume that a lot of you guys got a Chrysler right now. You guys probably bought it like pretty inexpensive as compared to all the other vehicles that's out there. All right. Enough with the Chrysler bashing. They bashed themselves enough already with the junk that they put out. Yeah, I can't help myself with that. I'm not a fan of Chrysler, guys. I'm not a fan of Chrysler, so I'm not a fan of a whole lot of other vehicles. But it's like this. It's like this. Let's talk about something else as far as how to fix this problem. Okay, so we got through all those scenarios. Let's talk about this other scenario. And I'm using scenario quite often right now because the scenario is this. There are a lot of different scenarios that you guys can look for as far as trying to fix this kind of problem. And it's a very, very common problem with Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep vehicles. So let's talk about this other method that you guys can try to use if you guys have this situation with the U codes, the CAN bus issue and stuff like that. I actually came across a video looking for like searches on this, and you guys might want to check out the video too. It's one of the higher rated videos as far as, you know, views are concerned. Guy actually says that, you know, he's been trying to figure out his situation. It wasn't a tip-in, it wasn't the ground wires, it wasn't a lot of other things. Apparently there's two wires that goes to the CAN bus. It's a black and white wire. You know, it's like he says it bypasses the ECM, ECU. I don't know if that's true or not. I don't think two wires is going to have a connection to all the other components, electronic components of the vehicle, sensors and stuff like that. But it's worth a try if you guys are in this situation. You know, outside of that, you might just have a dead car that you can't do anything with, that you guys gotta sell. But the guy said that there's a black and white wire that connects to the tip-in. If you guys take the little cover off, you guys can see those wires. And he said that maneuvering those two wires could actually, change up, you know, fix this problem for a little bit. But he did say that, you know, it didn't actually fix his problem in totality, if I'm right with that word. He says that, you know, the thing that fixed it is that he traced there's a huge wrap up of these wires that includes the CAN bus wires, and that he traced it to the pipe where it actually connects to the pipe. He didn't see any kind of damage with the wire or anything like that, but he said once he moved the cable, you know, all those wires are wrapped together into one single line. Once he moved the line outside, now I will tell you that people have had issues with ECU, ECMs. Once they get into a certain temperature, or it's put in a weird part of the vehicle where there's a lot of heat, it causes issues with the vehicle. This isn't one of those situations because it's about a line with all the cables, and he moved the cable and it fixed his car because it was an intermittent thing. It didn't occur all the time. It was an intermittent thing. And once he moved the cable out of the way, now here's the thing about it, okay? You guys might want to move the cable. I don't know if that actually works or not. You might want to maybe just get some kind of some kind of wrap or something like that, where it shields it from maybe it's the heat that's causing it. But he didn't see any damage to it, and I don't know if that's an actual cause of it. It might actually be some, you know, some cable, some wires maybe relating to the CAN bus that's kind of loose or whatever, and him actually moving the line out of the way of the pipe actually maybe stiffen up the connection of the line that might be loose. I think that might be the reason. In any case, he didn't actually say what the reason was, but you don't actually need a reason if you guys get it to work, right? So anyway, in this situation, there I said it again. How many times did I say that? I mean, I noticed I say that quite a bit, but in this scenario, there it is. There I go again with the scenario and the situations. But in any case, you know, try those things out. Try those things out if you're in this situation. I'm pretty sure you're pulling your hair. This problem is, you know, one of those problems that's not, well, let's just say it's not something that is easily figured out. Like if it's a starter, if it's a alternator, if it's a sensor or something like that, it's like a ghost, a frog in the system. It's not right. A cricket in the system, a ghost in the machine that's causing it to just not work right. And it's an electrical issue, it's an electronic issue, something having to do with the cables and lines. But in any case, hope this video has helped you guys out. If it has, please subscribe, please give me a thumbs up. Definitely, you know, drop a comment. If it has, if it hasn't, if you know of a different way where this has solved, where you found a way to solve your issue, it might help somebody else out. instead of taking you to a dealership, spending $200, and they'll say that they have no idea what's going on with that because Chryslers are crappy vehicles. Sorry, I just gotta say that one last time. I know. No, I'm not gonna get a lot of hate for it. I'm gonna get a lot of people agreeing with me. If you guys ever own a Chrysler, I mean recently, like Chrysler, Jeeps, recently, like within the last Stellantis years and stuff like that. I don't even know if Chrysler were ever great vehicles, but you guys know what I'm talking about. Post Stellantis, pre Stellantis, whatever it is. Leave a comment, please subscribe, please give me a thumbs up. As always, appreciate your time, guys. Take care.